What's up? I'm in. Okay. Yeah, ready. I. Ah.
WIFTBPM.
Can I talk to you, lady? Just the other day, I ran into a good old friend of yours, and I had to ask her, how have you been? She told me you were engaged and happy. My heart fell to the floor, I know it should have been me, but I couldn't see you with no one else.
What's going on, people? Happy Wednesday. It's Kris the Critic, Kris the Critic Show. As you guys can see, my lovely co-host, Gina B, is in New York City. Gina B, are you with us?
I'm with you today, even though I am not next to you as I usually am.
I know it's kind of lonely in the studio. Now, granted, we did get along without you and drinking stuff without you.
I was handling it on my own over here. I was all good.
So, I just got to say, I'm having a little feedback in here. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
I just got to say, this whole 6 p.m. thing, we're sort of late night. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk to management about this.
Yeah.
We're definitely kind of late night people. This whole 6 p.m., we like to curse. We barely get here on time. We got to talk about it.
We just got to get the drinking in earlier, I guess. That's what it is.
So look, people, today, this is a circle of trust type of relationship show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty juicy. We're talking about the implications of taxes on small businesses today. All right? That's today's
That's exactly
subject.
what we're discussing, yes.
So the decisions you make, what you claim. No, seriously. Today, people, we're talking about polyamorous relationships. That means relationship with more than one person that's consensual. So, show of hands. And again, this is active participation, but we get it. You want some anonymity. Just say it's your friend if you're talking about yourself. So, show of hands, anybody who's ever been in a polyamorous relationship. Or you know somebody who has. Just hit me a like. Okay, our producer in the studio. Won't say his name. That's his thing. That's his thing. As a matter of fact, so Jane, you do know this is a real thing, right? This is something that's happening and on the rise here in the States,
I do know it's a real thing. I know it's a real thing. I just don't think it would be the real thing for me.
Right.
But
okay.
I know it's a real thing.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I watched, what was that show? Not Sister Wives. Big Love.
Oh,
Did you watch Big Love?
I watched Big Love. Now,
That was a good show.
that was a good show. That was polygamy.
That was definitely polygamy.
And we'll go through several of the types, polyamorous relationships later. But usually in that type of relationship, there's one hierarchical figure who's sort of in charge. So, but it is definitely a type. So, ladies, if you can, that's not always a bad thing, even from, just thinking about it. I mean, I'm out the game. I'm retired, but, this is just all, mental exercise for a lot of us. But ladies, imagine this, ladies. Imagine your two favorite men from your past living with you. You come home from a hard day's work. Both of those men are there getting along, ready to satisfy you in every which way. Dinner's ready, sexually and otherwise. Now, is that necessarily a bad thought? I'm just saying.
It's not a bad thought, but you know what? I really feel like it works. The way it's traditionally worked with polygamy is that, or polyamory, obviously we discussed that's different, but is when there are multiple women in one man.
Let's talk about that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't really see how two men or multiple men are going to survive in that environment with one woman. I don't know. Do you see how that would work, Kris?
I don't know how the woman would survive. That's putting in some serious work. Can you imagine the one guy like, hey, wait a minute now. Was that? There needs
to be an orifice for me.
Was that some anal over there? I mean, that's what I'm down. I need that too. I mean, it's a lot of work for the woman. Yeah, think about it. Now, fellas, imagine you with Lou Williams. Everybody know who Lou Williams is? Lou Williams is a player in the NBA. Publicly had two girlfriends, both dimes. And then you see him at games sitting together, and it was just common knowledge. And granted, it would be a headache for me because I can just see them costing a lot, but I'm guessing that didn't matter to Lou. It worked well until she cheated. One of them cheated with Drake. Lou Williams was upset, broke up with him. So he's only got one girlfriend now.
Oh, wow.
But it's good to know that he has a girlfriend that's sort of down for the cause. So
then I wonder if she had brought Drake into the fold.
I mean, if he's like most men, as long as swords don't touch, I mean,
it can't be a sword fight, right?
Yeah, no one likes a sword fight. So let's talk about because I want to hear what you think about some of these. You know, I bought some notes, Gina.
I know you did.
I was here
Kris
by
got a
myself. I'm in the studio. I'm solo, so I'm here by myself. Somebody said it's too much work. I'll stick to the one. I'm telling you,
right?
Boosie, they said it's too much.
That's
work.
Boosie,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So again, this polyamorous relationships is a real thing. Willow Smith, 20-year-old daughter of Will and Jada, on the Red Table Talk with her grandma present, is in a group relationship. Claims that it was non-sexual. But then she did say, she has the least sex out of the group. And the grandmother's sitting there scratching her head. Right. It's new. But 43% of millennials are likely to say that their ideal relationship is non-monogamous. And that's a big number. And
that's a huge number.
Ironically, the exact same percent, 43%, actually believe in monogamy. Now, what that other 14%, 86, whatever they do, who knows? But adults, this surprised me. About 1/3 of adults say that their ideal relationship is non-monogamous.
Now, is that because they're non-monogamous? Now, does that also include polyamory? So they either feel like, okay, well, there's more than one person for me, right? Or they feel like those should exist at the same time.
They feel that a monogamous relationship is not for them.
Okay, so we haven't gotten into the definition of what that looks like. So
I'm going to talk about those in a minute, the different types. Right. But again, that might mean she wants to be in a group with her spouse and another couple. It could mean she wants another man, a variety of things, and we'll go through them. 23% of adults have actually been in one of these types of relationships to some degree. Now, they didn't break that out by race. Because I know black folk, they do some things, but they can get a little, they don't share as well as a lot of other
They
folk.
don't share. Yeah,
they don't share as well as a lot of other folk. Some do, depending on the type of relationship that it is. Now, we are not talking about a pay-for-play type of situation. Although I'm guessing some people are in this to ease their financial burdens in life. So,
well, that's how polygamy sort of started, right? It's like men could have as many wives as they could afford.
True. And some places still practice that.
Right, and it was a financial structure, completely financial structure. It's like if you can afford 12 wives, then have it. And the women, I guess, I don't know how they feel about it, but that's just kind of part of their culture. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people that can't afford themselves.
Absolutely.
That decided they need multiple girlfriends.
Yeah. Or what if you're a real handsome guy who's not selfish, and you're talented?
You need to be able to afford.
You have a golden staff, and there's a group over there saying, "Hey, we could use you."
A golden staff.
I'm just saying, the man's talented.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's different. But if he can't afford them, it's all about what
he could be joining another little pod. He could be the missing link.
You brought up an interesting point. So when Willow Smith said that she first started in a group relationship, it didn't begin as sexual, right?
She said for her.
For her.
She had, it's allegedly, and I guess that's how those involved justify a lot of this. It was non-sexual. There's a connection. I'm in love with this person. I'm in love with everybody.
I just feel like, there are people that you connect with, right? On uh, a personal level,
Right?
where it doesn't need to be a sexual relationship. Like I have a lot of people that I clicked with on a friend level where that's where we are. That's where we left it, right? So I'm wondering, because that generation, Willow's generation, not millennials, but below millennials, right? Zillennials, Generation Z, they have trouble connecting in general because they do everything on their screens. And so I'm wondering how much of that is because they connect with a person and they feel, well, maybe it's sexual. I don't know.
Do you think I think that's definitely true, but they're also nonconformists. They don't want to work traditional jobs.
Fair point.
And
They
I
don't.
think they don't want to be confined. Oh, marriage is not just for me. That's confining me. And I think part of it is that actually, they estimate between 4 and 8% of the population are actually in relationships that they define as completely non-monogamous. I guessed. I was messing around, debating with somebody, and I was like, and this person is just super free spirit, and I was like, that's about 3%, but it's really 8, so it's a lot. 20% have tried it, but there's some advantages. There's some dead ass advantages to this.
Okay. Let's go into your advantage. What do you think are the advantages
All right.
of the polyamory thing?
The biggest thing, you got some, I'll call it sexual diversity.
Okay.
Everybody, men or women, whether you act on it or not, you've thought about what if, or man, this dude is perfect, but what if he did this like him, or what if I could take this part from her and make that part, and everybody has, juggled it, and they actually live it out. So, okay, so you got a guy, you got the cook, and then you got the guy who cleans, you might have the guy who does this, you got the girl who does this. It's some sexual diversity involved. There's a lot of honesty, right? Don't need to cheat. STDs, there's a lower rate of STDs in those groups.
Well, that's they're all confining themselves to that little pod, right?
Right.
So if one person within the pod goes outside of the pod, now you've exposed everyone.
That's just like a relationship, though.
They could either be, well, it is, but like now you're a super spreader, right? Because
no, not at all. Because if you're in a one-on-one relationship, and my significant other, wife, steps out, I'm hit. Whereas if it's 4 people, maybe somebody else is hit.
Okay, so you get my point, though. So if your significant other steps outside of the relationship and there's a monogamous, like allegedly a one-on-one monogamous relationship, and someone cheats, right?
Yeah, I don't get to see that guy with symptoms over there. I'm the one, because chances are you catch something, you're going to know fairly quickly.
Well, right, but see, my point being is if everyone is sleeping with everyone,
I got it.
If there's 6 people in the pod and one steps out and gets an STD,
and
now you've
says,
got
I'm
potential
itching.
For all 6.
Somebody says I got an itch. Everybody, and then you don't get hit. You don't get that opportunity.
No, but you know what? All 6 could get it.
I think the itch shows.
So that means now you're a super spreader. I'm just saying.
Right. The stats say.
Keep going with your pros.
The stats say that they have a lesser. They claim that their claim, and some of these are they claim this emotional satisfaction. Not only diversity in sex, but diversity in activities. Maybe one person likes to be outdoors. This person likes to go to movies. You can just, you don't have to do things you don't like as much, and you can do more of things that you may have wanted to try.
Like someone likes anal and someone doesn't. Is that the point?
I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, I guess so.
I mean, let's not, it's not just about movies, it's about.
Fellas, show of hands if you need to add someone with some anal receptivity. No. And then overcoming jealousy. They claim this helps them overcome jealousy. I think that's a weakness. So, but those are some definite advantages. And at the end of the show, I'm going to talk about some disadvantages. So, I don't know. We got any women out there who may not be in an ideal relationship, or any men who may not be in an ideal relationship? I want to know, would you be okay with another, or could you conceive it? Not that you would do it. Could you conceive possibly having polyamorous relationship. I would think that there's so many people crying and complaining that they aren't happy that I see in the social media world that I can understand why people be willing to try something different. So I just
Well,
want
are
to
they
know.
willing to try something different as in another significant other? Or would trying something different mean that now I need to join a group? Like, is that a viable solution to your dissatisfaction in your relationship? Is the question.
The short answer is absolutely not. And
Okay.
I think some people gravitate toward these things like anything else. You know, you take a job in another city because your life is crappy. Well, unless you fix your life's just going to be crappy in another city.
Yeah,
Right.
your life will be crappy elsewhere. It's not
Right.
about, let's add some people to that, because
Right.
there are people who have problems connecting with
Right.
others.
So
And I think that's where these millennials fit in, to be honest with you. I don't think they're particularly good at connecting.
no, they connected.
Well,
You just
I
can't.
don't know that they're great at connecting on a one-on-one basis.
It's tough for our monogamous minds to wrap itself around something different.
Well, I think their process of dating is different, right? So with us, our generation, many of us actually met the old-fashioned way, like in person, right? Where we developed a chemistry with a person and created a relationship.
People
That
still meet
we're, mov-
in person, Gina B.
we're,
People,
we're
people
moving away from that. I mean, like if you go to the club and how'd you meet your wife?
um,
You guys have known each other forever. Okay.
I was in a enrichment gifted program for really smart people. I know I don't seem like it, but at one point in time, I hadn't killed all these brain cells. I was cold than a motherfucker. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so I was like
I
15.
met my significant other at a party.
Right?
I mean, we did it the old-fashioned way. I met him at a party. You know, we didn't start dating immediately, but we did find chemistry with one another, etc. But now so many things happen online, right? And you're not in person with one another to establish that kind of chemistry.
Gina B, young people gives no fucks about this COVID. They've been in person forever. They go in person. They party now.
Well, they party, but I'm saying a lot of people don't meet. Like I have like younger relatives who are like 19 doing online dating. It's like, why would you do online dating? You're just out, just go out. Well,
Online
no,
dating,
the way
I
we
think,
do.
is a smart thing to do for anyone because if a guy can't type a sentence well, chances are he can't speak well. And you don't have to be bothered with him. I think it's efficient. I think it's an efficient use of time.
Do
But
you?
absolutely.
Anyway,
But back to this.
that's a different topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, but back to this. This is more so when you're past that. We've met with
Yeah.
this.
Fair
So
point. Fair point.
before we break for half, I just want to run through the different types of poly relationships. Now, depending on who you're talking to, some of these have different names. So I don't want to hear the polyamorous expert out here where you left this out. This is like the basics of what it is. So, and then real quick, you have a V relationship, right? 3 people, one dating 2. Well, 1 is the principal person. It's your scenario that you gave. The guy is sort of the focal, or 2 women. I've actually seen, though, some black folk. You could look up the videos where it's a woman, 2 dudes. Now, they both look sort of soft serve, but that is what it is. You have a triad where all 3 folks interact. 2 girls with the guy. The girls get together. If it's 2 guys and girls, the guys get together. That's wild. Then you got a quad, 4 folk, and that can vary. Usually it's 2 couples, but maybe they start off. A lot of these start off they're swinging, and then maybe the girls get together. A lot of these are guys are heterosexual. They just sort of swap up. But I'm guessing with everything going on with the LGBTQHIT community, that you might have guys getting down too.
Okay.
Then you have hierarchical polyamory. So this is a big love situation. You might have a main couple, and the other people are secondary or tertiary type folk. Some people, the main folk, probably have more responsibility for the bills or the running of the home or the rules, that sort of thing. Then you have you have a what's the word for it? Solo polyamory. It's like a free agent. You know? They're not with any particular group, but that's what they do. They go satisfy other people, almost like a unicorn.
The unicorn. Yeah, I was going to say, because Goody brought that up
Right.
in our sex conversation,
Right.
which was great.
Right. Then you have non-hierarchical polyamorous relationships. Those are where there's no in charge, right? We all make a group decision and the best decision of the group. I think we're seeing real quick that just like a one-on-one relationship, there are rules that need to be followed and adhered to for this thing to work. And you alluded to it earlier, probably more areas for the chain of trust to be broken, I would think.
Yeah, it requires a lot of trust.
Somebody asked, my man Harper Williams asked, what age do you consider adult? Great question. Gina B, I consider, when it comes to doing the do, 18.
Okay.
What do you think?
As long as you didn't say grass on the field, play ball. 18.
18?
18.
I think 18. I don't know why. Harper Williams.
18, unless the man is 35, in which case, then, you know. I think
it's still 18.
It's 18. It's 18. It's
okay,
18.
cool. Yeah, let's not get it on that.
Yeah.
Boosie said these zillennial kids about to be fucked up and full of diseases and them souls all over the place. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't want to get into a political thing here.
Right, but
I don't want the feminati to cancel my show.
Feminati.
But this whole
that isn't particularly political. It's just feminist.
No, it's a whole extra liberal thing that's sort of pushing this anything goes thing. But hey, I don't want to offend the feminati.
Moving my camera. Yeah, well, you don't want to offend. You're right. You don't want to offend the feminati. You're right. So, okay, we're almost at the half hour. So, right. Are there any other pros before we take a break and then we can come back and?
Yeah, I want to answer some of these questions because we got some.
Oh, somebody want to answer questions first? Okay.
No, let's wait. We can come back. So we'll take a short break, and then, Gina, you and I look through the questions, and you sort of lead the question and answer break when we come back. Does that work?
Okay, sounds good.
Cool, people. We will be back in 2 ticks, but I want to know what you think. I want to know if some people could be in a polyamorous relationship because I think y'all acting shy. Just go ahead and just say it's your friend. You ain't even got to say your name. Yeah. Say my friend would do it.
Be proud.
Okay. And then we just leave it at that because it's a circle of trust. We'll be back in 2 ticks. Kris the Critic Show with Gina B in a minute. WIFTVPN. Am I off, G?
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Yeah. Oh, baby, oh, darling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your love must be some kind of drug, baby, 'cause it just keeps on calling me, and I just need a hit.
Bonjour. Yeah.
It's got me shaking.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's kind of a weird topic, but it's good. I'm going through, there's really nothing on YouTube, so I went on YouTube just now.
without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted. Lord have mercy. I can't be without you, baby. Oh no, not for a minute, not for an hour. I can't get enough. I'm so addicted. I need to check myself into some kind of rehab. 'Cause I need some help. Somebody help me, please. Please. La 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 la. I need to testify this evening. Oh Lord, have you ever loved somebody so much that you just can't get them off your mind? Oh, I'm so addicted. Oh Lord, 'cause I can't stop loving you, my baby. Oh darling, I love you, I love you. This must be love. I've been overdosed on your loving. Can't stop loving you. I done overdosed on my baby. Addicted to you. Without you, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Ooh, oh, I'm addicted.
WIFTV-PM.
Welcome back, critics, to the Kris the Critic Relationship Show with Gina B. We are talking about taxes. I mean, polyamorous relationships. Me and you and him, me and you and her, us and them, all of us, and then some. Gina B, during the break, you were tasked with going through some of the comments. I had a business call on the outside. Actually, I had to take my mid-break shot. But what did you come up with? Okay. I'm having some technical difficulties here. I cannot hear the co-host.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
it was
you're
my.
back.
I turned my.
It was
I turned my.
It was you. Here I am blaming the whole studio.
No.
Somebody almost
You know
got
what it is?
fired. Somebody almost got fired, Gina B.
No, but your phone
I
was
almost got fired because it happens with me all the time.
no, your phone was up. I could hear too. So no, we're good. So,
Okay, go ahead.
Your phone's still up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
You're the best. Okay, Gina B, we're fading in and out. I'm going to need you to
Okay, no, we had the delay.
Wherever your antenna is, put your right arm up, kick your left leg out, and then start talking.
Okay. I think we're good now. I think we're good.
I think so too.
So okay, so the question. Why am I hearing? Okay, anyway. So I think I don't know if we're good. I'm hearing shadow. I'm hearing echo still. But so the comments. So someone commented that they don't believe that. I'm hearing two of myself. Anyway, Kris, are you hearing that?
Gina B, I'm not, but I want you to ignore it and tell me what you're about to say.
I'm going to try to ignore it. Okay. So basically, the comments, some of the people in the comments are saying that they can't imagine a man sharing a woman that they care about with another man.
Here's my question to them. I have had multiple men reach out before this show, and actually two during this show, about women that they've been with who've gone out and actively recruited and solicited a woman to join them. So my question to Ms. Bomer is, are you saying it's impossible for a man to sacrifice or share like a woman to? I think there are some people who are. For instance, even in your standard porno, you often see a old white dude who likes watching his wife with some black stud called a what, Gina B?
I don't know. What do you call a black stud in a porn
you.
movie?
It's a cuckold. That's a word for the day. Cuckold.
Okay, I'm glad that you shared that with me because I had no idea. But thank you, Kris.
I
learned something new every time we
again,
talk.
it's a thing. So back to Ms. Bomer, who's a great listener, by the way. Thank you for showing up again.
Thank you,
If
Catherine.
we have X amount of percent, 43% of millennials who consider this an non-monogamous relationship a thing, out of that 43%, a lot of those are guys. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think guys are less masculine anyway coming along, but hey, well, who am I? I'm old school. I'm like Archie Bunker up in this bitch.
Okay, keep in mind that is a porn movie and not real life. So those are characters in a situation. Those are not like
Willow Smith has guys in the group sharing. It's a
Do we think that Willow Smith should be our barometer for how we want to handle it?
I'm saying that 43% of young people think that a non-monogamous relationship is ideal. 4 to 8% of all Americans. It's a thing. It's with a small minority, but it's a thing. Y'all just they just some freaks out in this boy. Hey. Like
there are some freaks, but I would just be interested in understanding the numbers in terms of how many people are interested in just kind of just randomly hooking up with people. So that's part of like, I don't want to be committed. I just want to have as much sex as possible. Then there's another faction who says, I don't want to be committed for whatever other reason. But then there's, I think, a smaller percentage that's like, yeah, I'm down with polyamory. I don't know that all 43%. I don't know that 100% of that 43% is interested in polyamory.
And that's fine. And let's not debate over the numbers, but they're there. I mean, you can go to your good old fashioned orgy and you see a lot of men and women sharing.
Orgy.
I'm just saying, you see a lot of men and women sharing. If they can share having sex, they can share in a relationship. It's conceivable.
Yeah, but it's one thing to like just go to an orgy and have random sex. It's another thing to like have a life. Okay. So having a life is different. Like if
Oh,
you're trying to actually, live this way, I think it's different than
why is it
I mean,
happening?
why is it happening?
Right.
Maybe because people, I mean, they're like, you did identify some pros, right?
Some of y'all
But
remind me of like the old school people who say, I can't stand any of this music on the radio. It all sucks. All this new hip hop sucks. But you know what? Somebody likes this shit.
somebody does like it, but that doesn't mean there aren't cons. And so can we go through some of the cons of polyamory?
We haven't gotten there yet. I want to
Okay,
know.
that's
I
fine.
want.
I have
want
cons.
to. I want to know. I want to hear from folks. Because I
You
do
want
have.
people to out themselves and
I
actually
didn't
like
say
they
that. I
they
said they can tell me about their friend.
So
I don't know
Kris,
that this crowd is not
Hold
like
on.
look at
We
our
got we
comments.
got we got super producer. We got a super producer who's
Kris,
very
if 43% of people are willing,
Those are
to,
millennials who would
are willing
consider
to
it.
admit
They would
that
consider it.
non-monogamy
That's something they would consider.
is
Correct.
something that they would consider.
Yep. Young people, and with adults, 4 to 8% actually live it. Up to 20% thought it might be an ideal situation.
What are the other, I don't know, 65% of people doing that are cheating?
Right.
Because
They stepping out.
Only maybe 10%, I'll give you 15 at most, generously 15%, are really effectively practicing monogamy.
Absolutely, I agree. So, and as I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, people are doing a lot of stuff on the outside of this monogamous relationship. And I say all the time, first off, I think men and women, we can say, from the educated to the most freakiest, a higher percentage of women are bi-curious, willing to bring someone to the bedroom, right? And then I always say this, no disrespect to my male brethren, we're some simple creatures. What? You doing something for what? Yay. Okay.
Why not?
It's out here. I'm not saying it's ideal. It's not and this is a morally, we put morals aside for this conversation, just talking about it. So nothing I'm advocating. I'm just saying, I know it's out here. I've heard it talked about. I see people talking about it. I see people wondering. I see people, soliciting. So it's out here. It's a thing.
Now, would it ever be considered? Would you ever consider? Hey, let's bring another woman into my marriage.
My marriage?
Yeah, just
No,
curious.
first off, my wife want to kick me out already. She would probably get another dude in there, and I ain't gonna lie, I'd be like, he can go grocery shopping? I go out with the fellas. I mean, some pros to that. And if I got a good bro, I'm just playing, baby. But I'm just saying, it could work. That's extra income. How much this nigga make? Hey, it's a lot of things to think about. A lot of things to think about.
If you could think okay, so if the person that I could bring into my situation could be like a maid, and then she could spend all of her time
Absolutely.
cleaning.
Yeah, people got to
And,
fill
you know,
roles. Now you thinking, Gina? This ain't all got to be just bedroom. You may
let that
never
bitch
have to go
show up
put
and clean up
gas in
my
your
house.
car. Yeah, y'all may have to put gas in the car. You may never have to cook. Y'all, listen.
There are a lot of pros to that.
There's some wins to all of this. A whole
I would
extra
rather just
income.
hire a cleaning lady, but that's a whole different issue.
What's the number one cause for divorce in the country?
Finances.
Finances. Woo! Doesn't the third income solve that problem? I'm just saying.
It could. It depends on, yeah. It has
It's
to be
out
a good
here.
income. And then you got 3 people to feed. See that then, which of course then, gets us to, that's one of our cons.
Let me respond to one of our favorite viewers. Boosie says
Boosie?
she can't stand any of the music on the radio. Boosie, I'm going to tell you, maybe I'm a simple listener, but I like the baby. And I like Money Bag, yo. I like, Cardi, Megan. I like some, but I like radio hits. If it bangs in the club, I'm bumping it. So I'm not one of those dudes who hates everything new. I know dudes out here who hate Steph Curry because he's new school. Shit. Dude, great. I'm just saying, people hate on anything new.
I don't care.
All right, so Herb Howard says 20% are poly, 15% monogamy, 65%. If those 65% are women, they're bi-curious or bi. It is what it is. I'm not saying they've all acted on it, but they are. And if any woman out here doesn't believe me, go poll 10 of your friends one-on-one. 7 of them going to say, oh, I did that. I don't know. I'm strictly dickly, but I did it.
Right. Well, there's another comment that I find interesting, and this is true. Ella Tango says that the maid took Arnold from Maria Schwarzenegger in the Schwarzenegger family. A lot of times, you're right. The people that you're hiring to help in your relationship do kind of steal the husband.
Did
so
the
that
maid really take him or get pregnant? Arnold strikes me as the types who really don't give a fuck. I will just pay. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. I leave. No, I slave to no women.
Well, he's the one that my favorite quote of Arnold's is eating is not cheating. Do you remember that?
Who said that?
That was Schwarzenegger.
He said he didn't cheat.
He said eating's not cheating.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the same dude who said when he was in his weightlifting heyday, they would do all type of drugs and sleep with all type of women and share women. He was a wild man.
Yeah. Yeah, the Terminator is not the role model here. But, fair point, though. I mean, you bring the maid in, and, yeah, she could very easily come in and swoop your man. But I think he did get her pregnant. Steven Seagal's nanny, same thing.
What's my man? They had an open marriage. Ozzie Davis, I believe. Sort of
for a while, yes. He and his wife. They wrote a whole book about that.
Yeah, Will and Jada. Listen, Will tried to put on that I'm sad that she cheated on me act, but that was to keep the image up. He condoned that. Will blessed it.
Well, I think maybe she was doing her thing in retaliation to him doing his own.
I'm saying Will and Jada are the perfect example of somebody who they are so tight-knit, they let each other do whatever. It's well been known that Will has been with men and women. She likes everything, but they will not part their union, and they're gonna make it. They're gonna always put the best Hollywood spin, but that's Hollywood though, so we won't even get into that.
It's Hollywood, and they're not my prototypic relationship anyway.
No.
That's like
he's a great actor, but outside of that, he's not.
I don't consider them to be. I mean, if you want to look to marriages that you idolize, that is not one.
This is not a moral conversation. I don't idolize anybody in Hollywood.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying. So
you ask some of the cons, right? The biggest is, and I think a lot of us, at least on this, between you and I and the audience, is immoral, right? I feel it's immoral. I do. There's a lot of jealousy that goes into that, even though they claim that their side will say, oh, yeah, less jealousy is ruled out because everything's above board. But you have now, instead of 2 people you have balancing, you have 3, 4, or more.
Or more.
And here's the big thing, and this made me laugh. You don't really put, let's hypothetically talk about sex.
Okay.
And your sex life with your main person is okay. And so comes in, and dude is fucking dynamite. So,
right.
As much as they want to say they're okay with it, let somebody walk in, and a dude is grabbing her hair, is choking the hell out of her. She's yelling uncontrollably, and he walks in like, "Damn, I didn't even know she liked to be choked.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Can't throw down like that."
So, right.
Yeah.
So, you in a one-on-one relationship, you try to improve through extra effort or communication with that person, your sex life, your personal life, all that. You tend not to do that in a multi-person situation because you get that from somewhere else. It's a benefit, but I think overall it's a negative.
Right.
You pointed this out earlier. It doesn't solve any real issues.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and you get in a relationship as one-on-one, right? Okay, it's me and Shaniqua. It's me and Shaniqua, and all of a sudden we say, you know what? She says, would you want another person we've talked about? I say, yeah, but our shit ain't right. And then you bring somebody else into some shit that ain't right. It ain't gonna ever be right. It's just compounding problems.
Right. You bring Bum Quisha in, and that's not gonna help.
There are a lot of rules in communication that has to be followed, and just from people being people, everybody doesn't really follow rules. I mean, they're not good at it.
And then there's like there's this. You're socially ostracized too, in you can't just like, oh, these are my two boyfriends that I'm taking out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can say though, I was going to ask the audience. We got about 7 minutes
Oh, we have
left.
very limited time. Oh wow.
Yeah, Brian Foster in the zone is next. Stick around for that. Then we got Week Ho Wednesday is coming up.
Yeah,
That is a
Wednesday.
wild show. Um, in a good way. I do want to know. I'm going to answer this after I ask you all. Would any of you consider polyamorous relationship while right now? Now, you become more moral as you get older. 3 kids in, a whole wife, and all of that. No. However, young me, right, in the
Hmm.
right situation, I'd have dabbled in it for a while. Let 2 women say they want to come live with me. I don't know a lot of guys who would say, "Oh, I'm just frowning my nose up, and I'm just gonna say no." If one of them could cook, I might have considered it short term. But eventually, somebody's gonna get on your nerves because women, by nature, no disrespect, for my mama, my kids, wife, all y'all sort of crazy. It is what it is.
Oh, look, dudes, like guys, we get on your nerves.
Absolutely, we're simple creatures. We're not that
You
smart,
guys
but
take too much.
we own that. Y'all lie about it.
I don't have any disillusions about women driving you crazy. It's all good.
Okay, you're real. You know, you put stuff in the way you say. You're like, yeah, Gina B is just you communicate effectively. I sometimes
Yeah,
people want to smack the shit out of me, but I get it.
but it's okay. But
So do you think that's something though that you can see guys doing when they're young?
I can see guys because men believe that if they have the most women, like, oh yeah, I can pull all these women. I mean, it speaks to their own egos, right?
Right.
But I really believe that as men get older and you get into the mechanics of a real relationship, it becomes more complex. It's just balancing all of that
Right.
becomes a more complex problem. And if you can navigate it, then knock yourself out. I just don't think most people can.
Right. Boosie said, all this shit is just nasty. I would agree. I would agree. But I would say this. I would bet that if you took the sum of the cheating going on in so-called monogamous relationships, it's way nastier than the bit of this shit going on out here. That's what it is.
Oh, potato, potato. I mean, it can
Uh,
all be nasty.
well, yeah. Anytime somebody's, you're the recipient of something you weren't expecting, you know,
Right. Like
it's
if
bad for
someone,
you.
right. If you, well, okay. So the question becomes, would you rather know what's happening or it be a surprise?
I think any person, whether they would be ape shit mad or not, would rather know what's going on when it comes to somebody they're intimate with. They might
They can
cry
make a
about it.
decision as whether they want to leave or not. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's some people that might say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to roll with it. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody said Will and Jada been at it since the 90s. I know. I'm telling you.
They have, but that doesn't mean they should have. They
They
never
just,
seem like all that like happy.
Kathy
Like if you
Bowman says young people are foolish. I also think young people are, they are, and they're also smart and honest. And I think the lack of, I'm telling you, it's society sort of pushing nonconformity that's making folks think that anything that follows rules or regulations is bad. And again, coming from an old school cat, I agree with you, Kathy. It's wild, and I think the sign of the times are wild.
right.
Um, somebody said, yeah. Somebody said I'm good with that one. Yeah, I can honestly tell y'all, my wife would not want 2 of me. Now maybe a better version of, a different version. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say better
You
because I do have a special set of skills, but
have
I
a
would say
particular set of
I
skills.
have a particular set of skills. I do think maybe the flaws in me, if it was my antimatter duplicate, I'm going to ask her that when I get home. Hey, if I had an antimatter duplicate, identical twin, we had the same DNA. If she say yeah, it's going to be a problem.
I
It's
don't.
going to be a
Yeah, I'd
motherfucking
be interested.
problem.
You let me know what she says about that. There's someone named Craig Gillis who always calls me Gia for one, and I'm like,
That's funny.
I need my N back. He
He knows
doesn't
it's
agree
you.
with me, but I don't know on what because he says Gia no. I don't know
Um,
what he's talking about. If you want to clarify that, Craig, please write back. Please,
Craig,
please
we need you to use your words.
use your N.
Craig's a good
Use
friend of
the
mine.
N key.
But look, folks, we got like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna say, I do want. I think people are holding out. I wonder if they've been in a polyamorous relationship.
I don't think anyone's admitting it.
I know. But later on, y'all can tell me about your friend. Like I said, I always get people to
Yes.
hit me afterwards, either on my real name messenger or a messenger on Kris the Critic, which I just found out existed, along with the people asking for money.
Check
and
that
other
out.
things.
Right. Well,
but-
you know what? It's kind of like buying Justin Bieber records. Millions of people do it, but no one's admitting to it.
You know, we're going to get Goody back on this show, and she's probably got some real life data and testimonials. I'm going to find some polyamorous folks to jump on the show, since everybody's want to act like they hadn't been in a threesome or dabbled here and there.
Well, you know, Goody.
I knows y'all out there.
Goody talked about this on our show, right? Where she said that she was a unicorn prior to getting married.
Right.
And then
which
she
is
stopped.
wild.
Yeah.
She's a real nice
She
person.
got married.
I love Goody. Listen, folks, in any relationship, whether you out here in polyamorous land or polygamous, you on big love, you got to have communication. You got to have some rules. You got to have some integrity. You got to have some love for the other person. Kris and Gina B out. We will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Brian Foster's up next in the zone. Gina B, I miss you. Hope to see you soon.
See you very soon. Right.